So I'm thinking about getting a new car, but I'm not really sure what to buy. Because I feel like the car that you drive represents who you are, you know? Like, if I get a minivan, I'm a mom. If I get a Subaru, I'm outdoorsy. If I get a Range Rover, I'm a cunt. I think I'm probably gonna get the Range. So you guys, I have a big anniversary coming up. This year, I will be married to my husband for 20 years. I know, I can't believe he stayed. Here's the one thing though, he doesn't love it when I use his real name on stage, so just for tonight, we're gonna call him, I don't know, difficult? No, he's great. But you know, even if you and your partner are a perfect match, it doesn't mean that you're the same type of person, right? Like, I'm a very emotional person. If something bothers me, I gotta let it out right away. But he's much more practical and calm, and he holds everything inside. He's just got this ability to take all of his anger and stress and worry and just make it all IBS. Every time I get upset about something, he's like, oh my God, you get mad about everything. And I'm like, I know, but I can also still eat Indian food. He's the kind of guy who always sees things on the bright side, which is also very different than me. But you know, he was just raised on positive mindset and optimism, and I was raised on Dateline. So growing up, his dad would say things to him like, if you leave the world better than you found it, you'll have lived a full life. And my dad would say things to me like, if you leave the garage door open overnight, our whole family will get murdered. You know, how you were raised, it really affects how you see everything, especially marriage. My mom is 13 years younger than my dad, so growing up, I just thought I would also marry my boss. I'm kidding. My mom never worked for my dad. He would have never hired a woman. Yeah. I ended up marrying somebody my own age, which is great because it means we're just the same level of tired all the time. We don't even care about going out anymore. You know, we've like lost our FOMO or fear of missing out. Now we just have FOSO or fear of having to stay out. But we have this plan, like if we're at a party and we want to go, we just leave without telling anybody, which is what my friend told me is called rude. She got really mad at me the last time I did it. She's like, Jen, you guys can't just leave without telling anybody. And I was like, oh my God, nobody even noticed. She goes, it was dinner for 4. So we have 2 kids. Anybody else have no money left? I have a 13-year-old son and a 15-year-old daughter. And you know, with teenagers, like no matter how good you feel about yourself, they will always find a way to change that. Every time I'm wearing something new, my daughter talks to me like she's a Hollywood reporter on the red carpet. She'll be like, oh, coming up to us next, we have our mom. Hi. So Mom, tell us, what are you wearing and why? I know. But she's, 15, 16, sometimes we're best friends and sometimes it's like we're speaking 2 different languages. Like I'm speaking English, she's speaking total fucking bitch. And thank you. My mom and I both have different theories about why she's just so mean to me for no reason at all. And I'm like, I don't know, I just think it's hormones. My mom's like, no, that's karma. My son used to be my best friend, but now, everything I do is embarrassing. Like his new thing is like, just, can you not do that? So I can't do anything with him anymore, Like I can't walk next to him, I can't hug him, I can't breastfeed him. But my kids are getting older, I'm getting older. Recently Instagram's been trying to tell me that I'm in perimenopause, which I think is very rude. If you don't know, perimenopause is the time before menopause where a woman's body goes through all kinds of changes and hormones and energy and mood swings. It's a lot like being pregnant, except at the end of it, instead of getting a baby, you get a mustache. I don't want to be a handsome woman. You know, it's so funny because like when you get older, the way that you see yourself in your head is so much different than the way you see yourself in the mirror. Like in my head, I'm still in my 20s, but in the mirror, I am fucking exhausted. You know, this isn't a resting bitch face. This is just a bitch who needs to rest. You know, and when you age, you just look tired, you know, even if you're not. But I just did learn this really cool little trick. I was watching this over 40 influencer, and I learned that if you want to make yourself look perkier, all you need to do is you need to put on your blush right after you get your tits done. He gets it. He got it. You know, a lot of people get depressed about getting older. I don't really get depressed about getting older. I do get depressed about a lot of other things. About 3 years ago, my son, he was 9 at the time, was in a near-fatal car accident. He's okay. He had a miraculous recovery. But it definitely was the hardest thing that I've ever been through in my life, which is why ever since then I've made it my mission to make his story all about me. Yeah, a lot of people always want to know all the details about what happened, and I'm not really ready to talk about that. At least for now, that's just something I want to keep between me and the Stanford Admissions Committee. They get it. They get it. Yeah. Yeah, you know, I had a really hard time coping, and I was diagnosed with PTSD, which is something that I only thought that veterans got. But apparently, it affects over 13 million Starbucks employees every year. Yeah, which is why I no longer spell my name Jen with a G. You know, everybody with PTSD, they react a little bit differently when they're triggered. You know, I just tend to isolate myself from all my friends and family. So like if I get triggered, I'm not gonna army crawl underneath a table, but I will book a girls' trip to Mexico and not invite anybody. Yeah. Yeah, I did. I isolated myself for 2 years, and I think it was because I just thought that nobody was going to understand exactly what I was going through. But I learned that if you do start talking to people, you'll realize that you're really not alone. I was talking to a group of people, and I was telling them my son's story, and this one woman in the middle of it reaches out, and she goes to me, "I understand what you're going through. My son had multiple heart surgeries before he was 5 years old." And I went, "Oh my God, is this bitch really trying to one-up me right now? Do you also drive a Range Rover?" But you know, it just made me realize that everybody has a story, and most people want to tell theirs, even if it's in the middle of yours. I did try every kind of therapy out there because I've always been very open to anything that would help me. But I realized something that you got to be careful, because if you're too open to anything that will help you, that's when you become really susceptible to cults. You know, this is something that happened to me. You know, I thought that I had finally found this community who understood trauma and pain and depression better than anybody else I'd ever met. And before I knew it, you guys, I was deeply involved in stand-up comedy. For months, I thought I was in a grief support group, but it turned out just to be the writer's room at the Ellen Show. I don't know. I mean, they say that laughter is the best medicine, you know? And I guess for me, it really was Prozac. All right, guys, thanks so much. I'm Jen Tyler.
Yes, I'm gonna be a star.